Today I'm sharing my tips from my first time at Universal Studios Japan in Osaka. There'll be wait times, express passes and whether they're worth it, practical things like lockers, how to get there, and at the end, all about how to get tickets. I've been to Universal Studios in Orlando and Hollywood, but this is my first time in Japan. I asked for tips on my Instagram, that's Cakes with Faces, so thank you to everyone who replied. What most people commented on is how busy it is and how long the queues are for everything, and also that the park usually opens before the scheduled time, even by a whole hour, so you should get there early.
It's actually 10:30 a.m. at the moment, despite everyone's advice, but because we took the night ferry last night, this was the earliest we could get here and it's the only day we could do, so we're going to see how it goes. It's a Sunday today at the start of March. Because we don't have that long here and we knew we'd be getting here late, we got express passes for all the major rides, so hopefully that will help. We just came out of Universal City Station and Universal City Walk is right there as you exit. I didn't realise it was so close. This hotel, the Parkfront Hotel, is right in City Walk. It looks pretty fancy. There's also hotels up there, the Oriental Hotel, and there was one right by Universal City Station, which would be so close. There's the entrance up ahead. There's loads of places to eat down here. There's Moss Burger, Shake Shack, Sushi Row, and lots behind us. There's a few things you can't take in, including suitcases, no selfie sticks, and you can't take in fast food lunchbox or drinks.
Some people told me they got away with taking a couple of small snacks in, but not whole lunch boxes. It'd be a good idea to have something because queues for food can be long.
There are lockers here near the entrance to store your stuff or if you've got any suitcases with you. I heard they do get busy, so we left our stuff at a locker at the station.
There are 3 locations with lockers outside the ticket gates and 2 inside. Whenever there's a ride where you can't take your stuff on, there are lockers, but they're just for while you're on the ride. You can't use them all day. These are the east lockers outside the gates.
Oh, there are a lot of them.
Well, they're asking free.
Which ones are free? How do you know? Oh, I see. Yeah, there are lockers. It's 1,000 yen. They're pretty big.
I've seen some people with big cases. I have no idea what they're going to do.
No, you could fit a small suitcase in here, but not a full-size one.
There are extra large lockers near the kennels outside the ticket gates. I have a video all about coin lockers in Japan with a walkthrough of how to use them.
There's Hollywood Dream. It's so cool how it goes over the entrance. They said it was going to be shut while we were here, so I'm surprised it's running.
If you have your heart set on going on a particular ride, check on the USJ website which rides are down for maintenance.
We bought our tickets online, so we already have QR codes, so we can just scan them at the ticket gates. We don't have to queue up at the ticket booths. There's quite a lot of people waiting here, but it seems to be moving along quite quickly.
Buying tickets in advance is recommended to save time on the day. At the end of the video, I'll tell you all about how to get tickets.
And we're in. There are some lockers inside the gates over to the right as well.
The start reminds me of Main Street USA at Tokyo Disney, or should I say World Bazaar. You can tell you're in a country where it rains often when this area is undercover.
This looks very spacious and there are a lot of people here. You can see loads of people up ahead. This is a super cute star popcorn bucket. I don't know if you can see that. And this is just along the main walkway. It's not even in Super Nintendo World. It smells good. Superstar popcorn bucket, 5,000 yen.
We're excited about the Jaws ride since it closed at Universal in Orlando. But first, food. It's not just the rides that are busy, queues for places to eat get really long too. It's best to avoid regular meal times, so we're eating lunch early. To keep with the Jaws theme, we went for Amity Landing Restaurant. It's basically fast food, fried chicken, chips, fried shrimp sandwiches, but it's served in Jaws boxes. There aren't a whole lot of options for vegetarians. There's a list of plant-based options on the USJ website and also low allergen meals. There are more food options just outside the park at Universal City Walk, which is where we went for dinner in the evening.
We've got lunch straight away from the Jaws cafe. I heard the food places get really busy, so we thought we'd get eating out of the way early while it's quiet and before all our timed entries. Phil's got the fried chicken set, which comes in a nice Jaws box. They don't have a lot of veggie options here at Universal, so I've got fries and cake. It's not so bad. It's got a nice jelly shark fin. This is a cream soda flavour roll cake. It's quite cold today. but we're nice and cozy outside under the heater.
The roll cake was actually pretty good, very light and fluffy.
The restaurants and food places can get quite busy. I just spotted a QR code in the queue there for mobile ordering, which is a quicker way to get your food. I'd heard about that and I was looking in the app for where the mobile order section was, but it's a QR code as you go into the restaurant that you need to scan to do that. We're just looking at some of the wait times at the moment. It's 11:31, it's a Sunday. 75, 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 80 minutes for Harry Potter, 105 minutes for Hollywood Dream. Flying Dinosaur's out of service. Oh no, we wanted to go on that.
That's the main reason we came.
No. 95 minutes Flight of the Hippogriff, Mario Kart 95, My Hero Academia, 200 minutes for Demon Slayer. That's the longest one. Hollywood Dream out of service. I saw that running earlier. We knew Jurassic Park would be out of service. Was that an actual real road bridge there?
Yeah.
We just seen a huge queue and we thought it was for the Flying Dinosaur, but it's actually just for a snacks kiosk. It's the longest queue I've ever seen for chicken legs. We just got into Jurassic Park and there's another really long queue for snacks. We've got Jurassic Park mixed with Monster Hunter. There's the menu. There's the Flying Dinosaur above us. If it comes back into action, I was looking forward to going on that one. Ah, looks like it's back. Is there anyone on that or are they just testing it? Someone told me this ride's really intense. Unfortunately, Jurassic Park the ride's down at the moment. It's being refurbed. It says we are enhancing this area for the comfort of our dinosaurs. This one's either the same or really similar to the Jurassic Park ride in Florida. So now we're in San Francisco, Pier 41. Does it feel like San Francisco? The constant threat of crime isn't quite there. We were in San Francisco last summer. I'm glad they had the proper Jurassic Park music in the Jurassic Park section, because in these American sections they've got sort of generic American music. Not like in a theme park like Universal in America, you'd get theme park background fantasy music. It's a bit funny hearing all these pop songs. The themes of the different areas kind of mash together when you go between the sections. At some theme parks they try and hide each one so you're totally immersed in the theme for that area. But quite often here you can see, like I could see Hogwarts in the background just a minute ago. It's quite mixed up. I guess because it's quite a compact park, everything's quite close together. It's actually not too busy just walking around. It seems to be queues for food and queues for rides that are really long and busy. There's even a queue to get a picture with Jaws. Here's the queue for Jaws. It looks long, but we have an express pass, thank goodness. We're going in the express pass entrance for Jaws. I just showed them the QR code on my phone. With the express passes, you get a PDF to print out with QR codes. I was worried we'd have to carry this A4 sheet of paper around with us all day, trying to keep it nice because it's so important. But you can just show the QR code on your phone, which I think is a lot easier. With the express pass we got, some of the rides and areas are timed and some of them aren't. So with this one, Jaws, we could go on at any time. You could go on Jaws or Hollywood Dream. You can pick one of the two. It felt good to be walking past that really long queue.
The commentary's in Japanese, but there's a fair amount of English around otherwise, on menus, signs and the app.
Bill got splashed by Jaws, he was sitting on the edge. But it was really good to go on that ride again after they got rid of it in Florida. With the express passes, the queue only took about 5 minutes. That was really quick and a lot quicker than the standby queue. The normal queue is about 50 minutes and the single rider queue is about 25, so that was half the time. Now it's almost time for our timed entry at Super Nintendo World. Here we go. Just as you go in the entrance before you go through the tunnel, there's a stall where you can get the bands if you want one. They are 4,200 yen.
Power-up bands are for playing extra little games around Super Nintendo World. If this stall's busy, there are other locations that sell them too.
We're actually 10 minutes early for our timed entry, but they let us in anyway. I thought they'd be really strict. Here we are at the entrance. You can't really see anything before you go through this. Oh yeah, the pictures change. I don't know if you can see that with the reflections, but they change as you go past. And here it is. I'm glad we got a blue sky today. Well, there's so many moving parts. Yeah, obviously, having seen this in pictures so many times, it does actually look really good in real life.
It's extremely crowded.
Yes. Because once you leave, you can't come back in, so no one wants to leave. There's Yoshi's Adventure.
Super Nintendo World's over 2 levels and it's quite compact, which makes it feel more crowded. That might ease up once Donkey Kong Country opens and there's more space, but that's also going to bring a lot more people in.
We're going into Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge. We've got timed entry for the ride, so hopefully the queue won't be too long. It's quite chaotic around Super Mario World because there's all these little queues as well to do the activities with your, I want to say magic band. I know it's not really called that. There's a bottleneck here where everyone wants photos with the statue. This is really detailed.
Even the queue is really well themed. The theming in Super Nintendo World definitely lives up to the hype.
We just went on Mario Kart Koopa's Challenge. That was fun. When you sit down in the kart, you've got on the VR goggles and it's all around you. And you have to aim by looking around to throw things and shoot all the enemies. It was a bit weird to start with, getting used to the VR, but then you get into it once the ride gets going. I really like the Rainbow Road section where it really feels like you're zooming around. Next it's time for Yoshi's Adventure. Can you see there's some Pikmin up there? It says when you see a glowing egg, press the button of the same colour. Here's the egg buttons. Here we go. Quite a short, cute little gentle ride. I didn't realise it had the egg collecting aspect. That was fun. But I think the best part is you get some nice views across the rest of Super Nintendo World. And I'm guessing once Donkey Kong Country is built, they might remove some of the barriers so you can see into that as well. Now, Kinopio's Cafe, you need a timed entry ticket to go into that.
If you want to eat here, get your timed entry ticket as soon as you get into Super Nintendo World. There's also a snack kiosk and you can get the Mario cheesecakes at Mario's Cafe and Store in the Hollywood area of the park.
But there's some more Pikmins.
Oh yeah!
Super Nintendo World really does look as good in real life as it does in all the pictures. You won't be disappointed with that. The whole land is quite compact really. There's this upstairs section and the downstairs section, so I think that contributes to how crowded it feels. There are a lot of little things to do, especially if you get the bands, but you do need some organisation to even be able to get in here and get on the rides, and then again if you want to go to the cafe. So just check up on that if any of them are must-dos for you. Make sure you've done everything before you leave, because once you exit you can never return. So many people are wearing hats or like plushy headbands and things, so if you want to dress up a little bit you won't look out of place at all. When we first got in, I even saw someone in a Yoshi onesie with Yoshi slippers. Must be pretty comfortable on the feet, but pretty awkward. There are some vending machines if you want to drink quickly. Yeah, that one. Super cute. Most of the rides here exist at other Universal parks around the world, but Flying Dinosaur is unique to Universal Studios Japan, so it's exciting to go on it. And the Jujutsu Kaisen ride is only here as well, I believe, but the queue for that is crazy. It was 220 minutes earlier. That was the longest queue out of everything. The wait time is 2 hours or even 80 minutes for the single rider queue, but luckily we've got express passes. There are lots of lockers here because you have to take off all loose items, scarves, hats, everything. That is an intense ride. It's a flying coaster, so you sit down and then it tips you up, so you're kind of hanging. And I do like that style of ride. This one is pretty intense. There's no letting up. You're swooping, twisting and turning. And it's quite scary at the start when you're going uphill and you're so high looking down, and then it swoops down. And there's parts where you're sort of upside down. It's quite the security procedure before you go on, because you need to take all your loose items off completely, including your necklaces, they said, and everything from your pockets. And they did check our pockets. We had to go through an X-ray machine.
X-ray?
It was X-ray, wasn't it?
Metal detector.
A metal detector. We had to go through metal detectors. Very tight security. I felt like we were going into a real dinosaur cage. Here's got a Jaws hot dog, a Jaws dogu. It's not quite bread. It looks more like a taiyaki sort of batter. Goes with the music.
This area by the lake's a really good place to take a break, with lots of benches to rest your feet.
We're going on through to Harry Potter. We've got timed entry for this section of the park, and once you've left this you can't go back in, the same deal as Super Nintendo World. And we've got times for the rides here as well.
I like how you go through the woods to get to the Wizarding World. The theming of this and Super Nintendo World feels a lot more immersive than the generic American areas.
It said it was timed entry on our passes, but it looks like you can just walk straight in. The Black Lake looks really black. Next we're going on Forbidden Journey. This ride did give me a bit of motion sickness in Florida, but we're going to do it anyway. When you use your express passes for a ride that's timed, when you first go in you have to show them the part that says what time you're allowed to go in, and then at the second check they scan the QR code and you can show them a printout or just on your phone. There are lots of lockers in here because you can't take anything on the ride. It is quite busy and cramped in here though.
Lockers are quite small.
Oh yeah, backpack only just fits in.
Yeah.
We might need more than one.
And you can keep your wallet, I guess.
We just missed the Triwizard Spirit Rally. They were doing a meet and greet with photos. I've heard lots of good things about the shows here, especially the Frog Choir. On a cold day, the snow felt a lot more realistic here than it does in Florida.
The black water does reflect the castle really well.
The two rides in this area are the same as in Orlando. Our express passes included them both, so we could skip past this long line. Waterworld, the show, is a good chance to sit down and take a break. The stunts and effects are actually really impressive.
At this shop on the main street going in, there's a load of Hello Kitty stuff. So fluffy, there's all the Hello Kitty ears. Right, Universal's open for another couple of hours now, but we have a shinkansen attached, so we've got to go. We had quite a short day here really, but we did get through everything on our must-do list. And I think that is because we got the express passes. They are quite a lot more expensive than the regular ticket, but it's the only way to really get through everything if you've only got one day here, unless you get here early and plan really carefully. If you don't have express passes, you could easily queue for more than an hour for all, not just the main rides, pretty much all the rides apart from the kids ones, which I didn't really look around the kids sections that much. We knew we wouldn't be able to get here very early, so we picked one that had all the times for the rides and timed entry in the afternoon. But there are quite a lot of different options, so you can pick the one that works best for you.
So on to tickets. I got my ticket from the official USJ website. Ticket prices depend on how busy it's expected to be. I went at the weekend at the start of March, which is the off season, so it was the second cheapest ticket at 9,400 yen each. If I'd gone on a weekday, it would have been 8,600 yen each. I'd recommend going on a weekday if you can, because it's less busy. There's also 2-day passes and 1.5-day passes. If the calendar says disabled, it might be because there's already a ticket in your basket. The next option is express passes. These are optional, they're expensive, but they'll save you a lot of time avoiding some of those really long queues, and some of them include timed entry to Super Nintendo World. There are free alternatives, which I'll mention in a minute. But if your dream is to go to Super Nintendo World and you want guaranteed entry by a pass, if you don't, there is a chance you might not be able to get in. There's a huge choice of express passes that include different rides. I got Pass 7 Variety, which includes Super Nintendo World, Harry Potter, and the big rides. There's 16 different options. Some are more aimed at kids, and some include more rides than others. The one I got was actually the most expensive one at 17,800 yen per person. Again, the price changes depending on the date. It's so much more than the park tickets themselves. I'm not really happy about it being that much, but with the time I had, getting there late and leaving before closing time, I wouldn't have been able to get everything done otherwise. Next, select a date for the express pass. You'll only be able to choose the same date as your ticket. Next, there'll be a huge choice of different times for the area entry and when you go on each ride. Here there's more than 20 options. Pick whether you want to do everything early in the day or later, and make sure they're all spaced out okay. Each one is limited availability, so if you're getting express passes, I'd recommend buying early so you have the best choice. Then there are extra tours and experiences, which are just optional extras. And then you pay. You get PDFs by email, one for your ticket and one for your express pass, which you can print or show on your phone. I did both to be on the safe side. You can use the QR code to scan your ticket into the app. A common problem is many people's cards don't work on the official site. Japanese websites are quite specific with what security they require, so not all foreign cards are accepted. If you're having trouble, the easiest way is to order on Klook, who are an official partner. If you don't want to buy an express pass, there is a free option for getting into Super Nintendo World. Use the app as soon as you get into the park to get an area timed entry ticket. It's free, but you can only apply once per day, and they do run out, so you need to get there early. If you don't get one, you can enter a lottery for a standby timed entry ticket, just in case anyone else cancels theirs. You can only enter that once per day. If you have express passes with timed entry, you don't need to do any of those things, just go to Super Nintendo World at the time on your pass. Another option is if you get there early enough. Lots of people have told me they just walked into Super Nintendo World without needing any passes or anything, but you do need to get there early before the published park opening time. For queues for rides, if you don't have express passes, the single rider line is always quicker if you don't mind sitting separately. So is it worth going if you've been to Universal in Orlando or Hollywood? There is some overlap with the US parks, but there are also some rides that are exclusive to Japan. Flying Dinosaur is excellent. The theming is similar to the other parks. It does feel quite compact and doesn't have a ton of rides, but it's also extremely busy, so you won't get around everything in less than a day. It feels quite high maintenance to visit. You need more planning with the area timed entry and express passes, and even more with the free options. Here's how to get there. The station you want is Universal City Station. From Shin-Osaka Station, the Shinkansen station, which is slightly outside the city, you need to get the train to Osaka Station. There are several options. The fastest is the JR Tokaido Sanyo line, also known as the Kobe line. From Osaka Station in the city, take the Osaka Loop line to Universal City Station. It's a very quick journey, about 12 minutes. Some trains are direct, and some you'll need to change at Nishi-Kujo Station. Transfer to the JR Umesaki line to Universal City Station. Just check on Google or Japan Travel by Navitime. From Universal City Station, City Walk is right outside. There's no way you can get lost. Just follow everyone else in Yoshi onesies. So that's it for Universal Studios Japan. I hope you found that useful. If you've been, tell us about your experiences in the comments, and I'll see you soon with more Japan videos on Thursdays.